Good evening to all of you. Welcome you to today's webinar. Today we are going to discuss the application of classic pivots and Fibonacci pivots on commodities. See, last week or Monday we discussed the application of pivots, classic pivots and Fibonacci pivots on Nifty index and a particular stock. Now today we are going to see how it works in commodities, particularly the major commodities: gold, crude, silver and copper. Now that day we introduced you to the classic pivots and Fibonacci pivots. I will recap that again for you, and we have had some webinars also before on this. Now you know about the classic pivots. It's nothing but first the averages. They take I plus low plus close divided by 3. This is the average. So this is common both for classic pivot and Fibonacci pivot. Now in the case of classic pivot, R1 is going to be 2 into this average minus the previous day low. This is the classic pivot. Okay. In the case of Fibonacci pivot, this will be 0.386 into the range of the previous day range, I minus low of the previous day, okay, plus PP. Okay, so this is R1 as far as Fibonacci pivots is concerned. Now in the case of R2 here, it is PP plus the previous day range, I minus low of the previous day. Here in the case of Fibonacci pivots, it is 0.618 into previous day range plus PP. So 0.618 of previous day range plus PP. This is R2. R3 is here. We know that PP plus twice the H minus L. Here the R3 is the R2 of the pivot. R2 of classic pivot is the R3 in Fibonacci pivot. So the same thing as far as the S1, S2, S3 is concerned. Only thing is here 0.386 into previous day range, that will be subtracted from the pivot. PP minus it will come. So in the case of S1, so in the case of classic pivot, here we are saying I plus low plus close divided by 3, that remains the same. In the case of classic pivot, S1 is going to be 2 into PP minus previous day range. In the case of Fibonacci pivot, this will be S1 is previous day the PP minus 0.386 of previous day range. Okay. Here S2 is PP minus 0.618 of the previous day range. And here S2 is going to be PP minus previous day range. Okay. And here S3 is the S2 of classic pivot. Okay. So this is the formula which we use both for classic pivot and Fibonacci pivot. There is one difference, this 0.386 and 0.618 coming. Now you know about the Fibonacci ratios. The major ratios we have already highlighted. The okay, it is 0.235, 0.386, 0.618 and 0.765. These are our common Fibonacci ratios, with 0.5 sometimes used. So here in this case of classic pivot, we are only using the 0.386 and 0.618. I have not shown you 0.235 and 0.765, but I illustrated to you in the case of Nifty also that you can use 0.235 and 0.765 as well if you want. Okay, so this will give you additional place. So that means we are going to add one more support and one more resistance, because we want smaller stop losses. The entire reason that we are using all this thing is to see how we can use the smaller stop losses. So we will use 0.235 also and 0.765 also. And now we will demonstrate, now with this introduction, we will demonstrate this as far as the international gold, and then as far as the Indian MCX gold petal. Similarly, we will look at the crude. Okay. So first let us look at the now what the price range in the previous day international gold price, which is the XAU USD, because you can use that particular chart itself and trade the Indian gold also, because once you see some breakout in this, you can also trigger a breakout as far as mostly in the Indian gold also. So now let's look at XAU USD chart. But before that, I will tell you what happened yesterday. What is the range of yesterday? and what are the probable, the S1, S2, S3 of today, R1, R2, R3 of today, and how you can use this for trading purposes. Now we'll go to the XAU USD of previous day ranges. See, this is the that is yesterday's, that is 12th, today is 13th, right? This is 12th, high 1769, low was 1750 and close is 1759. This is the yesterday's coordinates. This is yesterday's coordinates as far as international gold price is concerned. So based on that, what are the points that we got as for the classic pivot and Fibonacci pivot? We will also use the 0.235 also and find out what it is. So the this is the classic pivot. Okay, these are the Fibonacci pivot points. Okay, so what are the Fibonacci pivot points is? R1 is 1769. Okay, R2 is 1779. Okay, this is classic pivot. This is classic pivot, 1769, 1779, and the Fibonacci R1 is 1767, and R2 is 1772. Okay, R2 is 1772 as far as the Fibonacci thing is concerned, and the average is the same, which is 1759. So there is no change whether it is a classic pivot or a Fibonacci pivot. The average is 1759. The average is 1759. Yesterday it closed exactly at 1759. So here we have Fibonacci R1, R2 we have got, right? Then the third thing probably we are looking at whether we can have one more in between. So the Fibonacci before that is going to be, I told you, 0.235 of this range. So this range is 19. Yesterday if you see 1769 minus 1750 is 59, is 19 rupees range, right? Okay. So yesterday's range was 19 rupees. High minus low. Yesterday's high minus low in XAU is 19. So if you apply 0.235, okay, 19 into 0.235 is approximately 4 rupees it will come. 4.46. Okay. So PP was 1759. So one resistance in between average and the classic the Fibonacci place, which is 1767 or so, which we found out, is this. That is 1759 plus 4.45, which is 1763.45. So approximately this particular one is one important resistance, because it opened it was 1759 and closed yesterday. So this is one of 1763.45. Okay. Similarly, the downside will be 1759 minus 4.45. So if you take 5 rupees, approximately 1754 or so. So you can trade in the XAE gold. It is like this. You buy above 1763.45, keep yesterday's pivot of 1759 or 58 as a stop loss. That is one way of looking at it. Second is you go long above 1763.45 and put in a stop loss of 1753 or 54. This is another aspect of trading. Okay, these are two different ways, because probably some people would like to have a very closer stop loss. Some people would like to have a slightly liberal stop loss. So there is no harm in it. So these are the 2 points. And normally, if you see, generally asset markets find it difficult to cross R2. Particularly classic pivot R2 is going to be quite difficult. So here what we saw was 1779 as the classic pivot R2. Look at it. So the classic pivot R2 is 1779, which could be the R3 of Fibonacci. So 1779 is going to be a very, very difficult level to cross, generally speaking. And before that we have 1772, okay, as a resistance. So we will find out what happened at these points: 1763, 64, 1767, 1772, 1759. Because today till now XAE gold has not gone below 1759. Okay. So let's look at what's happened as this one is concerned, and we will look at the Indian price also shortly. Now we'll go to the chart, for which we use the investing.com site. Okay. Now just look at the this one. See, it has been extremely extremely volatile now in the last couple of minutes because of the important data that must have come from US. Okay, so now we have seen today the 1758 holding very clearly. That is where we wanted our PP, approximate 1759.58 is the level which I told you. Now let's look at the morning session, what happened till now. See, today, first of all, after it started moving here, so you can see in the morning 6:45.7, 1763, this is all in the 15-minute chart. So 1763 was, if you look at it, 1763, 1763.50, this was holding till the morning session. So the 1763.65 got penetrated here, right? 1765.80. So this is time at 1 o'clock European time. That is a place where probably we could have gone long. It's a place where we could have gone long. Okay, so this is the first place, keeping even 1758, which is the PP of the day, as a stop loss, approximately that place, because there can always be a spike. So $1 or so can be a difference. So here we have got a movement which is above 1763.64. So we can as well go long, right? Now let us see what happened. The price action. We have R1 at 1767. Now closer to that we have some resistance, 1768 or so. Then it falls, but no, it doesn't go below 1763 also, 1766. Then it even cuts the 1773, which we saw here, is one important level of resistance, right? R2 is 1772 in the case of a classic Fibonacci, okay, and 1779 is R3, okay. And let's look at what's happened there. Okay, so it went right up to 1778, 1777.53, and suddenly spiked lower. Okay, so it went very close up to the R2 classic pivot R2, which is equal to the Fibonacci R3. Okay, Fibonacci R3. So very clearly we had a good profit, because we will definitely take profit somewhere in between. It could be 1772 itself where we could have taken profit. Above 1763 would have gone long, and probably put the R2 as a place, that is R2 classic Fibonacci point, as a place where we would have taken profit. So 1772 is where probably we would have taken the profits. Now this was a sudden fall within 15 minutes, so we will leave the trade, we will not this one. So but after that, if you see, there was a downward trend, and then if you look at the 15-minute chart, there was some resistance coming back here at 1763. Just see, 1763, there was some hesitation. And after the hesitation, it just fell back to the same 1758. That once it started to cut above 1763, we can again go long, keeping 1758 as a stop loss. And then we would have taken profit somewhere there. Okay. Now here is a case that it has now gone up to 1780. So it has gone above 1780. So right now, whether we should be long or short, if we are long already, we should put the next row as a stop loss. So now we just come to R3 of classic Fibonacci, right? So R2 of classic Fibonacci should act as a support. That means, now let's look at what the Fibonacci R2 is 1772. So right now what we should do is, we should keep an high at 1772, because it has crossed R3 1779 of classic Fibonacci, so of Fibonacci pivot. So now the support is going to come at 1772. If it starts to break if it's going to break below 1772 now, so how you should trade? Now you should look for a support which is closer to 1772. If 1772 is cut, then we should go short again, keeping R3 1779 or whatever. Now it has come to 1780 or so. We just saw that it has come to 1780 and struggling a little bit there. So we should put in that particular place of 1780 as a stop loss. Okay. So this is how the trading is done, and it's very clear that XAU gold has worked very well today till now. It has met all the important levels which we have been talking about, and in classic Fibonacci as well as in Fibonacci Fibonacci, and the same can be used. See, normally traders use one particular methodology. So anything which you want to do, as I told you, you have to be consistent. So either you use a bar chart cutting of 15 minutes or 1 hour or whatever it is, or probably you look at some figures like this, and then decide about how to go about, how to put in your strategy. So it's a very clear case right now because the market has trended very well today. As far as gold is concerned, there has been a smooth upward trend till half an hour back, after which some release of data put the gold down, and now it has again recovered. So this is as far as the international gold price is concerned. So we will look at what happens as far as the Indian prices are concerned. So Indian price, so let's look at what the Fibonacci numbers are as far as the Indian gold is concerned. So Indian gold right now, gold mini is going at 47,574. Okay, 47,574. Now, what are the based on yesterday's thing? What are the levels we have seen in the case of Fibonacci pivots? Fibonacci pivots is giving these levels: R1 47,379. Okay, R2 47,461. Okay, R3 47,594. So R3 normally is the R2 of the classic pivot. So it has come quite closer to the R2 levels here. So now it is going at 47,574. So let us look at the international Indian prices are concerned. Now here the R2 is 47,595. I told you. R2 is 47,412. R1 is as far as the classic pivots is concerned, R1 is 47,412. So let's look at now what exactly is, as far as the chart is concerned, what is happening right now. So Indian gold price. So if you see, same thing has happened. 47,594 is what we said. It is now around that particular level, and before that it just met this Fibonacci 47,549. We talked about 47,594 or so, right? So it went quite closer to that and started to come down. Now here it went down to 47,211 or so, and here what is the pivot there? 47,245. 47,245 is the pivot for today's range. So PP is 47,245. So it went. So the low, if you see on a close basis, 47,257, even in a 15 minutes bar. 47,000. So the low it came down to 47,211. Okay. So normally, this 30 rupees in this is nothing big in 47,000. So we need to be careful about that. So there will be a lot of questions of how to do that. We'll come to that later on. There is no how we should use the bar chart also in conjunction with that. So we will use those things. So right now it is held down to the PP. Now what should we do right now? Now we should look at what is the R1 right now, or the R2 as far as the Fibonacci points are concerned. Now this is 47,461 and this is 47,379, and R1 here is 47,412. So what we should do is 412, 461 is there. So the lower of these two we can take right now. So we can use 47,410. Okay. Or if you feel it stagnates around 47,461, you can do that also. So you can go short at any place which is below this, and put in a stop loss of this. That's all. So you go short below this 47,410 or so, and keep whatever high that you got right now as a stop loss. Maybe so you can do for less than 200 rupees, which is less than 0.5%, considering the present today's volatility. Okay. So let's look at the chart right now as far as the gold is concerned, and let's see where what are the places where it took supports and resistances. So this is the high, which is 47,549, and below that is 47,470. So that is where we saw the R2 here, right? So this is the place. Okay, so we can look towards going short below this 47,460 or 470, and keep 47,600 levels as a stop loss. So right now, because the market, it has already rallied significantly, so if there is a reversal, we can attempt to do that for the remaining hours of the day. Okay, so this is as far as the gold is concerned, and we will look at what happened as far as the crude is concerned. We will say look at the same international prices, and then we will come to the local prices. Okay. Now look at the international price. So first we'll look at the Fibonacci points which are there as far as the international gold price is concerned. Now WTI crude is now trading at 79.83. Okay, and we'll look at the Fibonacci pivots. Fibonacci and classic pivot. Pivot is the same, and that is 80.58. So now it has slipped below the pivot point. Now what is the S1 levels we see is in the case of this one is 79.54 in the case of classic. In the case of the Fibonacci pivot is 79.75, right? S2 here is 79.25. Okay, S2 here is 78.43, and that is going to be the S3 here. So there is a chance that it can slip up to this. Now it is going at 79.83 and slightly above this. So let's look at what's happened. R1, let us say, what is the R1 for this today? Is 81.70, and R1 here was 81.40. Okay, so it didn't go much below above that. So we'll look at what's happened today. High was 80.78, so it didn't go to 81.40 or anything like that, and it has slipped below the 80.50 level, so which is the pivot point. So let's look at whether there was any support closer to the pivot point. 79.89, and this is 80.78. So 80.50. So it has been trading consistently low below today's pivot of 80.58, 80.60. So what we have to do is that crude is concerned, we should wait. If we want to go long, we should wait for a break which is above this 80.65, 67. That is approximately where we are the pivot point. So this is the place where we should now look towards going long if we necessary. That is only above 80.67 or 80.70. And the first support that we are going to look at it is the 78 here. If you look at it, there was a 78, 70 levels. This is a 78, 70 levels. And going by what we have here is the these levels, which is 78, 42, 43. So this could probably hold. But before that, we are looking at 79.50 to 79.75, right? So 79.50 to 79.75 itself is one important support where it is hanging on. Right now it is hanging on at that place. Let's see. So it's hanging on this 79.44, 79.44, 79.79 is trading. So it has cut S1, right? It has cut S1. So we can probably look having gone short. Let us say crude we have gone short, and we should keep this particular high, which is the 80.67 or the pivot point of 80.70 as a stop loss. That's all. So let's look at the same thing as far as the Indian crude price is concerned. So crude we are short, keeping today's high till now as a stop loss. I don't think so. We're getting that, but MCX. Okay, so we are not having this. So we have to look at the prices ourselves. So crude oil, crude MCX. So this is the let me see. This is the index. So crude. So let me try again. Okay. So we have the 6009, right? So now the price is at 6009. And we look at the okay, PPE is 6084. Okay, S1 is 6010, and Fibonacci S1 is 6024. Okay, S2 here is 5928, and in this case this 5988, right? S2 is 5988. So we expect some support now, 6009. So we expect some support to come here at 5988. Okay, this is the first support, and now it is clearly at the verge. It has almost broken this 6009. So we have to keep 6084 as a stop loss. So today, so we have not even looked at the chart properly right now. So now it has broken S1. Okay, so the stop loss that comes is closer to 6084. Now, if we want to have one more area of in between points of resistance and support, let's look at the yesterday's range, which was so yesterday's range 6158, 6002. So there is 156 points, right? So there is 156 points. Yesterday's range, high to low, was 156. So into 0.235, let us say 156 into 0.235. That comes to 37.37. So 6084 minus 37 is one area where we could have looked at some resistance, which could have come at 6047 or so. So 6047 was the first support that we could have imagined today, and then finally next support was coming closer to 6010, 6024 levels. Now that has also been broken. So let's look at what has happened today as far as from the chart look, how the chart has looked today. Look at the 15-minute chart, and the 15-minute chart today, see, let us say this is 13th. Okay, 13th straight away. So it was 6084. You just see the resistance was 6089. So it was a clear it went right up to the pivot point, and from their pivot point it broke down. And we were just imagining about the 6047 levels, right? 6047, and 6047 54 was here, and this is 6043. Okay, so once this was broken, this level was broken, we could have probably gone short again with keeping this 6084, 85 points as a stop loss, 6084 as a stop loss. Now finally now it has come down closer to the support level, which is 5986. So what is the support level that we saw here? Yeah, see here 5988. So this is one important support level which we talked about. So once it broke that 6084, then this was 6010 6024 level. So we could have taken even 6024. So once it broke below 6024, then no, we could have kept below 6024 and then kept a stop loss either at 6084 or 6047. Either one we could have kept it. But crude being a very volatile commodity, it is better for you to take a slightly higher stop loss, otherwise you may get stopped out very fast. So you break below 6024, okay, or a 6047. Break below 6047, you could have kept a stop loss above 6084. Now a break below 6024, you could have kept a stop loss at 6047, or you could have maintained a stop loss at 6084, and the first support came at 5988. So now once it starts breaking 5986 or 88, then you can go for again a sell, keeping 6024 as a stop loss, and probably looking towards the next level of support, which is the S3 of the classic pivot, which comes to 5854. So in the case of S3 is 5928 in the case of classic pivot, which is the S3 here. So 5928, if this is broken, if 5988 is broken, we may get closer to 5928 levels, 5928 levels. So you can go short again if it is going to go below 5988. Keep a stop loss above 6025 in that case, and look for a target towards 5928. Okay. So this is the way you can trade crude today. Okay, crude in the morning itself you could have traded when it started cutting 6047, keeping 6084 as a stop loss. Now it has come down to the 6024 also, you could have gone short below that, and now it came and took support at 1588 or 1586.88. Now once that is going to be broken, then we will see a much greater sharper fall towards the 5928. If that be the case, then you can go and hit up to 6024. Now those who want to sell it on the rise should sell it keeping 6047 or 6084 as a stop loss. Now any rise which is happening right now is around 6012 or so. So you can do today with keeping 6084 as a stop loss. So you want to trade, now you keep the pivot point as a stop loss point. Now it is because it has broken S1. It has broken S1 very clearly. Okay, so keep PP as a stop loss right now. So 6012 any climb, 6024, 6045 if it comes, go for a short, keep 6084 as a stop loss. So you can trade either on a breakdown, okay, or you can take it on a climb, keep one of these places as a stop loss. Now if the crude is climbing today, because it has cut yesterday's low, you can sell keeping today's high of 6084 as a stop loss, whatever that you got. So any climb towards 6024 should be a first good level to go for a short right now. Okay. So now we will look at so this is we have illustrated in terms of gold. We have also illustrated in terms of crude. So we will look at whether probably copper MCX futures. MCC1. Okay. Copper now at 746. Okay, copper now 747, and that is also going higher. Okay, 747, and if you look at the Fibonacci class pivot point is 735, and the classic R1 is 742, R2 is 749. So we'll restrict ourselves to this. Okay, PP is 735, right? 735. So today, when it started to move above 742 itself, we could have gone long. Okay, so I'm just illustrating only from the case of classic pivot right now. If you want, you can trade the Fibonacci pivot also, which is R3 is the same, which is here 749. Here R1 is 741. Okay, and R2 is 744. So let's look at some of this. So what you could have done is, you could have gone long about, say, let us say R1 if it is 742, okay, and it started to penetrate above 742, and this is also happens to be the R1 here. Then in that case you can gone long and keeping PP 735 as a stop loss, keeping 735 as a stop loss. So let us see what has happened here as far as copper is concerned. So we have the coordinates where PP is 735. So let's see what has happened today. So let's look at the, it came down right now up to 742, right? So that is where we said 742 is R1, right? So the moment it penetrated 7, because here also 742 is also 741. So the moment it penetrated at 741, 742, we could have kept 735 as a stop loss. So here today 741, which is the classic Fibonacci point, once that 741 is cut, then no, it did not come below 736.40 itself. So morning time, this was morning time, yes. So morning time it was, so this is yesterday's time, okay. So today in the Indian time itself it was above 735, right. So this is above 735 in today's time itself. So the moment it was above this, today it didn't come much below that at all, 736. The first resistance got here at 741, which is the place where we found out from the Fibonacci. Then we add 744 is a classic Fibonacci F2, that is R2. Now once that was broken, even 742 has not been seen, 741 has not been seen if you see, okay. So now we have the resistance which is coming closer to the 747 or 749, let's say 749, right, 749. So now it is now meeting the resistance at 749. So what we should do right now is that no, we look towards keeping 741 itself as a stop loss. So any dip if you want, you can buy keeping either 744 or 741 as a stop loss. My suggestion is that you buy closer to 744 and keep 741 as a stop loss today, because generally it has rallied heavily and it has gone above R3. So chances that it may not come much below R2, it may not come much below R2. So you can keep either R2 as a stop loss, but since today the 744 place has not been very clearly resistance has been found, it went up much above that. So there was no clear price action of higher or low at 744 till now. So what you can do is that you can keep 741 as a stop loss. So any dip probably you can buy closer to 744, 745 in copper, keeping 741 as a stop as a place for this one, and R3 of this is 749, which is the R2 there. So if you still want to go short at this level, the stop loss comes at 756. The next resistance in classic pivot is 756. So now it has come to 748, 749, probably a little bit above that 749. So those who are looking towards selling on the rally now can sell anywhere between 749 to 756 and keep 756 as stop loss. Very rare that we may get above 756. So you can keep selling between 749 to 756 also and sell and keep a stop loss above 756. So the trading is something which is we must know how exactly know what are the what sort of a plan we should have. Okay, that is in terms of the calculations, but how do we use it? That is left to each individual trader is concerned. Now, and also it could a little bit change from time to time. Now, I told you today you could have bought it above on a break above 741, keeping 735 as a stop loss. That is one way of trading, right? There is a chance that probably must have thought that today 741 will be the top, so you could have gone and shorted at 741, right? So you might have shorted something at 741. Now, after shorting at 741, you may be looking either to average it out. If you are going to look for averaging out today's thing, then the next resistance that will have come at 749. So you should now average at 741, you should average at 749. So that means you got something like 8 by 2, 4. So 744, 745 will be the place where you have. And if you feel that it's not going to, fall much, then you can come out of the break even itself, 744. Okay. If it had fallen from 745, you would have taken good amount of money. So right now, there is a chance that those who wanted to average could have averaged at 741 and 740. It has not come closer to 749. It is around that. So you could have gone short at these two places of average. That is one way of looking at it. Third is, people will probably prefer that I will not go short here, but I will only go short somewhere here, because sometimes it comes to the R3 of Fibonacci, which is the R2 of the classic pivot. So not normally, many times it doesn't come, but let us say somebody wanted to sell only around this particular level. Then in that case you can sell between 749 or even slightly more, and you can put 756 as a stop loss. So the trading is something is an art. Okay, so you can derive certain things scientifically. You can derive something scientifically or mathematically like this. Okay, but how you apply and what type of strategy that you are going to follow, okay, for all these things will depend on each trader's thing. So but one thing is very clear, that if you have a particular way of doing things, I think if you just stick to that, if you just stick to one particular pattern of trading, okay, and you do it consistently, okay, take all the trades which come there, definitely within a month you will be profitable. In a month's time you will be profitable. Only problem for us is the lack of consistency. So that problem can be solved by doing it methodically, and if you are not able to do methodically, then the algo trading is the one which takes it over from there. So explore all these opportunities and you will definitely get an answer, a key to your trading. Okay. So now time is closer to 7:45. You can ask your questions now. Thank you. So hope this session also is productive, and we will again meet next week with a new topic. Until then, goodbye to you and happy Dasara to you. Stay safe. Thank you very much.